everybody!
Hi! Sorry.
I am Champenstein.
And I am Heather Hadfield.
And we're Talk Comics to Me. It's a new comic book day.
It is the 17th.
Yeah.
Damn!
I think so. Yeah, it is the 17th.
It's the 17th.
I was supposed to get my bag on the 16th. And
That's
I
true.
didn't. So, yep, it's the 17th of June.
Here we are.
There's a pandemic still.
Still, yeah. So be careful.
There are black people being found hanged from trees.
It's not suicide, guys. Don't believe that.
Yeah, it's not suicide. People are still protesting in the streets for,
everywhere.
Everywhere for, police defunding and, abolition and, the not murdering black people. So, anything else going on?
Oh god, there's so much going on.
Oh yeah, I mean, we learned yesterday a bunch of comic creators that were, once respected by us are just terrible human beings. So,
who would have thought that men could just be garbage? I had a bat in my house last night. That was fun.
So yeah, welcome to Wednesday.
Stuff's happening.
2020 has been a fucking wild ass ride, and we're gonna talk about comics.
We're gonna try to if we don't get if we just don't get distracted. I knew that was gonna happen.
It's fine. I need something better to set it on. It's fine, everything's fine.
Okay, I'm just gonna start talking. So I have this is issue number 4 of Vampironica New Blood. It's technically, I guess, what would it be, like the third part of the Vampironica series. This one, she is pretty much trying to find out the history of the large...
It's been a long time since you've done that on accident.
Because in my head I was thinking also, like, big family. So the Lodge family history and, like, how the vampire gene plays into her lifetime.
I was also thinking big family.
Big family, yeah, large. But her ancestor, Sir Philip, I believe, Philip Lodge. Oh, God, I'm just awful with names. Something Lodge. Fillmore? It's like, it's right up here somewhere. But basically, it's like her great-great-grandpa or something like that. He was what was considered an apex vampire, where he, in order to stay young and youthful, he would eat other vampires, which is like a very rare thing. She discovers that she is also an apex, which that's not all that they can do. They can also control other vampires. Like, basically, it's like a hive mind type situation.
Okay.
So she is using that knowledge to try to defeat her great-great-grand Francis Lodge, to defeat him.
Fillmore?
I almost said Phyllis, so I mean, it was close, but she's basically just trying to figure out how to defeat him because he is the only reason why she's in danger at this point, and why her family and her friends and stuff are in danger. There's, like, this really funny scene in here where Archie's like, let me tell you all about, like, your dad. We saw him beneath the bleachers and shit doing some naughty stuff, but, like, the outfit that he's wearing is, like, super silly because it's, like, Halloween.
Yeah.
So he's dressed as a cat. I love my idiot friend Archie. But yeah, this is I don't know if there's going to be any other series after that. It kind of left it so that they could easily, like, if they wanted to have more fun with it, they can. But it pretty much concludes the storyline of Vampironica.
Okay.
So, yeah, I still, this is one that I really enjoyed, but mostly because I just love the art in it. I just think, like, the colors and stuff are really fun. But the story itself is super silly. It does remind me a lot of, like, Riverdale, watching the show. And they had, I think it's in this one, they had an ad for, like, another show that is...
Oh, a Katie Keene show?
Yeah, which is the spinoff from that Archie series that I'm reading with Katie Keene.
Yeah.
It's so dumb, but apparently they're doing a show about it.
Weird.
I have not heard anything about it. This is seriously the first
I haven't
I
heard
heard.
either.
So.
That's weird.
It looks like it has Lucy Hale in it, who is from Pretty Little Liars. Is that the show?
Pretty Little Liars?
Yeah.
Or is it or the HBO show?
No, it's like a CW show.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Something like that. I don't know.
know.
But yeah, it's the Archie stuff is getting out of control and real silly.
Oh, man. I'm about to just, like, bring it the
That's
fuck
all.
down.
Yeah, I started here. Champ's going to bring it to here. So here we go.
So I have Tiananmen 1989, Our Shattered Hopes. This is a story from, Lun Zhang.
Loon?
Loon Zhang. I'm sorry, man. If I fucked up your name, I did not mean to.
Sorry, man.
And Adrian Gambode. And then and the art is by
Amazing.
Yeah. So
Amazing.
I suppose, yeah. But anyway, this is kind of slightly autobiographical. Oh my god, I'm having
It's autobiographical.
I'm having the worst time with words today. Why do I even try to do this? Autobiographical.
There it is.
Jesus.
I said autobiographical. I can't even say it now.
Book, and it kind of starts out with who you're going to be seeing in this story, like the players of the game, and then it kind of has this little intro that like I really enjoyed that I felt like I'm gonna read to you because I feel like it's a really good introduction.
It's good,
and I think it'll make you want to pick up the book. So, please forgive me that I'm going to probably stumble all over my words.
A strunk.
Oh, I'm strong.
Sorry. Champ is having a strunk.
I am. The pages that follow are not an autobiography exactly, but rather the story of a man who had a life very much like mine. This fictional twin lived through the same events in a dramatized and thus necessarily condensed fashion. Told in such a way, the story is not my own, but that of millions of Chinese people who experienced these events, both in Beijing and throughout the world. I was but a humble participant, witness to a vast collective movement. The true heroes of God damn it. Tiananmen will forever remain the student hunger strikers as well as the nameless people of Beijing who stood up to the rifles and the tanks to protect the students and defend a great cause. As the story of one who survived, this book is first and foremost a tribute to those who did not. I hereby dedicate it to my 3 children who grew up in France 30 years after Tiananmen. I am sharing my story with them so that they will understand the journey I have made. I am sharing it with readers, young and old, who wish to learn more about these events that upended the fate of a great people with whom they will be sharing their future. I don't know, man.
It's, this was one of those things where I did not know a lot about, like, the situation and, like, everything that had happened there, but I always remember that one picture of the tanks and the guy with, like, the plastic bags, and he's standing just right in front of the tanks. So that picture changed my life the first time I had seen it, and so that's what made me want to read that.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get into this and, you know, hopefully learn more, and I feel like it kind of, right at this point, is extremely important to read these sorts of things and, like, understand how these things shape people and nations. And
because this was the turning point for China when it was like the fall of communism.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's like what this whole thing...
I'm pretty sure, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Or the other way around. The fall of communism and...
Right. Patrick, it's called Tiananmen 1989.
Our Shattered Hopes.
Our Shattered Hopes, yes.
Yeah. And the art is really interesting inside. I wasn't going to pick this up. I actually had written it on my list and then taken it off, and then when it came in yesterday, I don't know. I needed it. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something about, like, right now where I was like, I need this in my life.
It just feels very important.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I have to say about that book right now.
Yes. So next, this is something we both have, and neither of us had added this to our poll. We both just picked it up randomly yesterday.
Yeah.
I have to admit, though, I'm a huge sucker for Dan Mora's art, and anytime he does do a cover, that's when I get excited about it, because that's exactly what I did to Folklords, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only reason I had originally picked it up. Like, I had wanted to read it, but I saw Dan Mora's art and was like, okay, sold. I'm in. And I ended up really enjoying it. God damn it, my keychain's stuck again. Which, same with this one. James Tinian, is the one who wrote this, and I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, no, I loved it quite a bit. The art was really, really, like, the cover A, I thought was going to reflect the art on the inside more, which it did not. I was really, really, really impressed with the art and colors on the inside. And then, yeah, it was just very cute, and it really did a great job of introducing you to, like, your main character and the world you're going to be in right away.
Oh, yeah.
Or main characters, I guess, since there's...
Yeah, there's, like, two, I guess, main characters that it, like, focuses on. There's tons of other characters. Well, not tons, but there's several other characters, but you can tell that the story is going to be focused on, like, these two main characters, which I'm very excited, which is Wynd and...
Oh, I don't remember his name, I'm not going to lie.
Thorn. His name's Thorn. Okay. I remember it was something weird like that. I was like, what the fuck is his name? Yeah, it's, his name's Young Master Cherrywood.
So, yeah,
I can't with that.
Yeah, no.
It's so good. Okay, so basically it's about a land that they live in where, like, magic has pretty much been banned, like, outlawed, and this boy, Wynd, has some sort of magic connection. I don't want to, like, give anything away, but basically he has to hide who he is because he's got, like, the ears, which is a sign of him having magic. But within this land that they live in, this guy is... I want to call him a bounty hunter, but I know that's not what he is.
I mean, he's, like, I guess a hunter of those who contain magic. So kind of a bounty hunter.
Yeah, he's hired by the king pretty much to come in, but they call him the Bandaged Man, and he is searching out hidden magic within the kingdom. And he's obviously going to play a big part, and then the character Thorn has connections, or is, like, I guess just friends. We'll just say friends.
Yeah.
He's friends with the prince. So there's going to be a whole... sorry, Patrick.
Oh.
There's going to be this... There's going to be an adventure going on. These main characters are going to try to solve a mystery or go on, like, some sort of quest for the prince because he's not allowed to, is what I'm getting from it. But I love Thorn so far. I think he's just... I love all the characters, actually, to be honest.
I would say I really do enjoy all the characters, because I also really enjoyed, like, her quite a bit.
Yeah, I did too.
And just, like, how she wanted to protect Wynd, like, just, like, from whatever bad may be happening. So it's just really interesting. Yeah, I'm really excited to see where this goes. Heather and I said it was very cute and very gay today, and I think that is
It's so cute and gay.
A really good way to describe it.
Yes. This is, like... I have been very impressed with, like, the cute Boom comics that have been coming out, but this, I don't know. You can tell that this is just going to be a lot of fun.
If only they would treat their creators better.
If only. This is sad. But yeah, no, this is... Again, like, I'm very excited. I don't even know, like, how many issues this is going to be. I don't remember if it's going to be, like, a continuing series or if it's, like, limited.
Yeah, I just remember James Chinian saying that all the issues are going to be, like, this thick, so, like, 50 pages.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, so this is Wynd. This is issue number 1. Boom. I didn't mean to throw it.
Definitely worth checking out. It's especially if you love cute things.
Yeah, like cute fantasy things.
Yeah.
Cute and gay fantasy things.
Cute and gay.
So cute and gay.
Patrick, I have not been avoiding you in the drive-thru. I've been just secluded to taking photos of comic books on Wednesday mornings. Mm-hmm. So, you know.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. So next.
I keep, like, touching my hair and then touching the table, so there's, like, grease everywhere. So next, we both have, this is Gideon Falls issue number 22.
Yeah, and this is the beginning of a story arc.
Yes, a brand new story arc.
And so, what the fuck is her name?
What's that flying with the crows is what this story arc is called.
Oh, okay. The psychiatrist, or Norton's psychiatrist, has been separated from the priest and everybody else. Basically, everybody's been separated from one another after trying to destroy the Black Barn in the last story arc.
Yeah, they blew up the barn, but they actually, I feel like instead of blowing up the barn, they just blew up the world.
Yeah, and that's kind of what they allude at in the end of this story.
Yeah, they're all in different versions of Gideon Falls.
Or Gideon.
Gideon, yeah, sorry, the Gideon.
It's they do one of those things in this particular issue where they say the name of the comic book inside of the comic.
So many times, and
they're just like Gideon Falls.
Oh, they did the thing.
The first time I was like, oh yeah, and then I was like, oh yeah, no, I get it, Gideon Falls.
Yeah, but no, I think this is a very good.
I wasn't sure how it was going to come back, and this was a pleasantly nice surprise. It was really strong.
Oh yeah, I agree. Because it it's like they're reintroducing all the characters, and it also is like kind of starting the book from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it'd been long enough where I was just like, what the fuck happened in that last issue? Like, what did I forget? But it's yeah. They're really good at, like, just coming back after nonsense and then just making it all make sense again.
Yeah.
Which I hate. It's not fair.
Well, and I just, like, I felt like at the end of the last issue, I was like, it felt like everything was kind of, like, coming to an end and a conclusion, and this just felt like it was like, okay, we're starting from the beginning again.
Yeah. I thought that the story was almost over, but it's like, what else? Because that's what I had been thinking, like, at the end, was what else could they possibly do? And it's like, well, they're doing the most. Like, they're doing everything that they could be doing. But it doesn't feel forced at all. It doesn't feel like, I don't know, they're just kind of, like, making stuff up as they go along. It feels like a really well thought out story that made you think that it was going to be the end. And then it's like, oh, just kidding. We still have so much more to show you. We have
all of this.
Yeah. I still really enjoy it. I think that I feel like it's less now, and it has been less about, like, the actual horror aspect of it, and it's more like a psychological, like, time thriller.
Yeah, no, that's the best way to describe it, because it's just like, at some points you're just like, what's happening? And then you do realize that it is a lot of time travel and, like, alternate dimension type things, and then it is just really taking your mind for a ride.
Yeah, because I remember, like, when I first picked this up to, like, read it, I assumed that it was just going to be a straight horror.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it felt like at first, but then as it keeps going, it's like, I don't know, how when you're watching Lost, the first season is, like, this is the plane crash, this is it.
And that's a good comparison.
And then as it goes on, it's like, it just gets crazier, but unlike Lost, I'm actually still interested in it, and it does make sense with the whole story, rather than, like, seasons 4 and 5 of Lost being complete bullshit. Sorry.
What is it? I am everybody.
Yes, I am tired.
To add to that, I think I had a thought, but maybe it just, like, slipped my mind. So never mind.
Okay. Okay.
It was there and then it was gone after we talked about Lost.
Yeah, that's what happens when you talk about Lost. Everything else just, like, falls to the wayside. All right.
I mean, I suppose if you wanted, it would not be a terrible picking up point, just because it does do an idea. Like, it gives you an idea, and I mean, you could just backtrack it. Mm-hmm. And it still makes sense. Oh, what I was going to say is that there are some, like, moments of this book that are kind of, like, uncomfortable. Like, the bug stuff that's, like, super uncomfortable and kind of creepy. Like, that stuff definitely gets to me.
Yeah.
Like, but otherwise, yeah, it is just, like, mainly psychological horror.
Yeah. There's that, like, that page in here where she's, like, in the town, and... Is it her? No, it's him, then. No, it is her. That whole page.
Yeah.
And I was like, are these all bugs?
Oh, yeah. I just thought it was, like, the dirt and the grass.
I only assumed it was the bugs because they have that, like, sheen and then... But it could be. Either way.
No.
Yeah, it was just,
But in general, that is, like, very creepy.
Yeah, and, like, I mean, is that the father?
That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
That's who I thought.
This book is great, guys. I really, really enjoy it still, because it still does, like, have that horror aspect to it, which creeps me out.
Yeah.
I don't like cockroaches, mostly.
Yeah, like, crawly bugs like that are the worst.
The ones that just don't die no matter how many times you step on them.
It's because they got that shield.
Ugh.
Your turn.
Made me gaggy. Okay, I have issue number 4 of George R.R. Martin's A Clash of Kings Part 2. this is, I've said this like a million times. If you've read the books or watched the TV show up to, season 4 is when it starts kind of straying from it.
Yeah.
Then you don't really need the comics because it's just a retelling of the story with pictures, which I really enjoy. But this is, for those of you who need the reference, this would be the part of the show when the Onion Knight, I always forget his name.
Sir Davos.
Takes Melisandre to the gate, and she lays back and gives birth to the shadow demon child.
That's one of my favorite parts of the book, too.
Yeah, no, it's so creepy in the book. But yeah,
Davos is just like, what the fuck is happening?
He doesn't run or anything. He's just sitting there watching it happen like, what the fuck? Which, I get it. I would probably do that, too, because I'd be more shocked that, she just takes her robe off and is super pregnant, and I'm like, how did you hide that from me the entire time? And then squatting and shooting out a shadow kid. I'd be so into that. But yeah, and the shadow kid is what kills Renly. Isn't that? My timeline is all fucked up because it's been so long since I've read it. But yes, that's it. And Daenerys is in Meereen, I believe. No. She's in the land when...
She's still, walking somewhere in the desert?
No, she's at the city where they end up taking her dragons.
Okay.
The tower of...
Oh, yeah. The tower, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, that's what this is. That's where we are right here in the reading. I don't know why I made that face. I'm sorry. But yeah, this is a nice little thing if you want to reread it, but also just not put as much effort into it. Yeah. Which is why I've been reading it, because it was something that I wanted to do, but also I just did not want to get that invested again, because if I have to go back and have Jaime Lannister ruined for me yet another time, I'm going to lose my mind.
I mean, I guess I'm still almost done with the third book. I've decided not to go back. I mean, I'll go back eventually, but I'm at this point where I'm just reading other shit.
The Two Towers. Thank you, Patrick. That's what it was.
That's Lord of the Rings. Yes, good.
The third book is my favorite, though. I absolutely love the third book.
I thought we were talking about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the Return of the Fellowship of the Queen. Yeah, is what it is, I believe.
I am, I'm reading The Road right now, so.
Oh, God, I can't read that book either. That breaks my heart.
I've never seen the movie.
Oh my God. Okay.
So I wasn't sure what to expect, and Chris was like, "Don't read this book. You're gonna have a bad time. You've been reading things where you're having a bad time." Okay. Because I had just finished Transmetropolitan, and when he said that, I was like, "Well, of course now I'm gonna read this book. I need to read this book."
The book is really good. Cormac McCarthy is one of my favorite authors. I love him so much. Child of God is probably one of my favorite books to ever exist. It's so fantastic. When you finish the book, let me know, because me and one of my oldest friends, we read it at the same time. She read it wrong. She thought the ending, something else had happened, because she just, it didn't register, how the book had ended. And I'm over here, crying, and she doesn't understand why, 'cause she's like, why are you, what's wrong with you? So I had to explain it to her, and it's not hard to understand. It was just, she had completely missed 2 pages.
Yeah. And this weird road ramble right now, I just got to what I think is the scariest part, which Chris was saying, the part he's been waiting for me to get to this part, which is when they find all of those people in the basement. Mm-hmm. I was reading it in bed, before I go to sleep, I always do. I don't know why. I'm I'm gonna be scared. Let me just shut off all the lights when I'm scared of the dark too. And so I'm reading that part, and I just got so tense, and when they're running away I was like, oh my God. Just freaking the fuck out in bed. I was like, I gotta keep reading until I get to a part where they're I think they're safe, but I mean they're not safe.
Yeah, so that part also scared me. The movie, I will say, the movie is good, but I hated the kid in the movie.
Okay.
The kid, he just seemed annoying to me. Whereas in the book, his dialogue with the father and stuff just made more sense. But in the movie, for some reason, I just could not handle the kid. But I'm really glad you're reading that, because I love that book. Anyway.
Sorry, that was a little distraction there. You have We've been talking about books a lot lately, too.
Yeah. It's been happening.
It's your turn, because you said you had a couple books you don't
But
have.
I just
Oh,
did
yeah.
that one.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
My God.
I just talked about that book.
Oh, yeah. Wait, it's this one.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Okay, so next I have Family Tree. This is issue number 6. This is also a return after a break and the beginning of a new story arc. So in the last story arc, this group of bad people captured the grandfather, and the daughter, the son, and the mother and this doctor all get away. So this picks up in a flashback with, or you think it's a part of it's a flashback. Oh, sorry, because it is. Part of it is and part of it isn't. It starts with a flashback of Darcy and his dad talking about, like, Darcy leaving his family and why he's leaving his family, which is because he's becoming a tree. And then
I gotta leave. I gotta go plant myself somewhere.
That happened in the last issue. So he shows him this, and then they start having this other conversation where the grandfather, his father, is realizing that this didn't happen, and he's realizing that his son is actually talking to him and trying to get him to wake up because he has been captured by these bad guys. And then that's where this starts. I don't know. I really I wasn't sure if I would like this book in the beginning, but I really enjoy where it's going right now. So 2 Jeff Lemire books in a row. Not too bad.
Sorry, no, I'm just comparing the covers because you have the little bean boys, and, like, I do too, but they're making different faces.
Yeah.
So I was just, yeah.
So then
Next
we have Ludocrats. This is issue number 2, and this is, like, my favorite book right now.
It's a lot of fun.
It's so silly, and I read it out loud at work today, and people were like, "What are you reading?" I'm just like, it's Ludocrats, but sorry, Megatron. But it's just so silly, and it's so silly in a way that, like, I described it as highbrow and lowbrow at the same time, because the vocabulary it uses is just very, very broad and very, like, intelligent, while it's saying just the stupidest shit possible.
Yeah. It's not saying anything. It's using way too many words.
It's using way too many words, and I absolutely love that.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. It makes me feel smart.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not reading anything.
Yeah. I think that is it does make me feel smart, too, because I'm like, oh, I understand these words, and I'm laughing because it's funny. That's
right.
Good, right?
It's like when you start a letter with, "to whom it may concern." Like, that's literally what I feel like when I'm reading this, is I'm like, I'm going to write this really fancy email and, like, include things like, however, and furthermore, and it's like, you don't need any of that, just explain yourself.
Maybe I'll use whom.
Yeah, whomst. That's what it feels like.
So this issue picks up after Grady has been arrested, and Otto wants to save her.
That's literally it. That's all that happens in here, but they formulate this plan to, like, break her out, essentially.
Yeah, and she's stuck inside a gigantic worm. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah. And it does not go how it's supposed to, based off of the plan that takes them an entire issue to formulate.
Yeah, I loved it so much.
It's really funny.
I did read this issue a couple months ago, and I laughed really hard, and I read it again last night and today, and I just, like, I don't know, I was having a great time.
Yeah, it's fantastic. If you really love absurd and, literary disasters, then I think you will really, really enjoy this one.
And I think, like, Heather and I had talked about this earlier as well, it's just, like, right now, I don't know, everything is so bleak that, like, even the smallest bit of funny is giving me belly laughs and makes me feel, like, decent. So
his kind of belly.
Yeah. This is my belly when I laugh.
Huge belly laughs. I just love, like, the little things that are happening in the background, and just, it's like DJ said, it just feels like a candy store. Which, I don't know.
Yeah. And just, like, the faces, the faces are really great. I can't say anything but good things, I don't think. Like,
there's not one thing that I don't like about this. It's just, the faces and the hands, like, it's fantastic. It's super cute. It's a mess, but, like, in a good way. It's, yeah. Oh, God. I almost threw that one, too. Okay, that's all for that one.
Okay, now you go with the pick books you have.
So I'm just going to talk about them briefly. I read 2 other comics that were out today. The first one is A Man Among Ye, which is by Stephanie Phillips. Okay, that's what I thought. She does Butcher of Paris.
There's another one.
Yeah, there's another.
Was it Artemis and the Assassin?
Artemis and the Assassin. So this story, I'm not sure if it's going to be like a limited or if it's going to be an ongoing thing. I don't know why they would make it ongoing. It's just about the pirate Annie Bonny. Well, I mean, they could make it.
No, I know. It was just the way you said it.
Yeah, they just, because she's a pirate from, like, however far back when, they don't really have concrete stories about her that they could tell. Basically, all they know about her is she became a pirate because she went, like, on traveling with her husband or whatever, and she met, I cannot remember her last name, but Mary, who ended up becoming her lover. Okay. And the one thing about Annie Bonny that I really love, and this became like a huge thing for female pirates later on, is anytime that she would kill a man, she would flash her tits to show the men that, like, hey, a woman fucking killed you. Love that. I love that so much. But yeah, it's just a story about Annie Bonny, and I'm assuming how she met her female lover. Because this first issue has her being introduced to who will eventually become her lover. Okay. I guess it's more of like a history on, like, piracy and, like, women in piracy and stuff, which I think is really cool. I enjoyed it. Pirate Times, yeah. Thank you.
Like for Pirate Times.
I enjoyed it quite a bit, but it's not, I don't think I'm going to add it to my poll just because I've already gone down the aisle of reading female pirate stories. I just don't want to do it again.
That's totally
I don't want to do it. And I really do enjoy Stephanie Phillips' writing. I enjoy the fact that, like, most of her stories that I've been reading anyway are very female heavy.
Mm-hmm. And kind of historical.
Yeah,
based.
and very, very historical. And I do, and yeah, actually, now that you mention it, because even Artemis, that whole story had a lot of, like, history in it. Mm-hmm. But anyway, but yeah, it's called A Man Among You. It was the first issue. It came out today. The other one that I read was that AWA Upshot series Hotell, which is issue number 2. It's going to be 4 issues long, and each one is a different story that takes place within this hotel that is on a random road in, like, the middle of nowhere. This chapter focuses on, I'm not sure if anyone had read the first chapter of it, but it was the pregnant woman who was getting away from her abusive husband. At one point, she meets her neighbor.
I did read all of this.
Yeah. She, like, meets the neighbor in the hotel who is a man, and I can't remember his name, but I remember his wife's name is Muriel, and it's like a brief, like, half a page thing where he, like, sees her and gets, like, kind of shocked to see her there. Yeah. This second issue is about them and how he takes her out there and is, like, trying to kill her and all that kind of stuff because he doesn't want a divorce because it's too costly, and he set it up so that everyone just thinks that she's on vacation but he's homesick, so no one knows that he actually, like, went with her to this hotel in the middle of nowhere. But anytime that he tries to kill her, when he goes back to the hotel room, she's there. And he can't, like, figure out why. It's, like, it's a weird thing. It has to do with, like, a weird celestial body of water that they find, like, behind the hotel. It's fantastic. I
should read that.
Yeah. I actually really love this series. And considering it's only 4 issues, it's not, you don't really have to think hard about it. Like, they're quick and to the point, and they're, like, it's horror. They're bloody, they're violent, but they're so fun.
Just what you want.
Yeah, and that was it. Those were the only 2 other ones that I read.
All right, and so then I have The Man Who Fucked Up Time. This is issue number 3. And this issue, why do I always forget his name? And it's, like, one of the... Bennett is his last name, so that's what I'm just going to call him.
Yeah, just call him Benny.
So he is in time. He starts out, like, remembering this party he went to in the past as he is being killed. and it's just, I don't know, it's just the same stuff, him kind of running around in time trying to fix his mistakes and figure out how he got to this point. And it seems like there are at least 3 versions of himself kind of going back and forth throughout time, and one version of himself seems to be fucking over the other version of himself.
Love that.
So there's
can't trust yourself.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. I don't know, this is a real silly book, and I do really enjoy it. There's just, like, when he gets killed the first time as he's, like, remembering this evening, like, he dies, and then he comes back to life, and he's just like, what, how did this happen? Was I just dead? And the future police are like, yeah, we, like, had to bring you back to life, because how are you going to fix time if you're dead? And more words than that. And so they're like, well, we've zapped this guy, knocked him unconscious for a little bit, but you're going to have to, like, run away, like, immediately. And so he's, like, running away from a mastodon, and he's just like, I'm not going to if they can just bring me back to life, I don't want to run away from a mastodon.
Right.
So he just gets, like, smashed by this mastodon, and the future police basically, like, reverse this and bring him back. And he's like, well, give me, like, your giant teaser arm so I can at least, like, survive.
Myself.
Yeah. So
that's funny.
Just silly shit like that. That's a good time. It's a good time.
It's a good time.
Okay. So next
we have, this is Strange Adventures. This is issue number 2, and Champ and I both agree that this issue was way stronger than the first one. I loved this issue. I thought it was so good.
I almost, like, I wish there would have been a way for them to start out with this issue, because I really did think this was a way stronger step than the first issue was itself.
I loved the way, I can't remember if this is how they did the art too, where Evan Shaner did, like, the art from the past, and then Mitch does the present art. But I do love that a lot, especially because when it is going back and forth like that, like, within the book, it can get pretty confusing, but because of the art change, that really does help, like, keeping track of it.
And also, I feel like a lot of it, too, is, like, Mr. Terrific's parts, for the most part, are all in, like, the present, and then Witcher is all Mitch's art, and then Doc Shaner's is all the past, and all just, like, Adam Strange's, like, part. So, yeah, that did help really separate the story, and really give like, a solid tone to both stories as well, personally. So, it's interesting.
Steve the Pirate.
Oh, dude.
Sorry. I got distracted. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. God, now I had a train of thought, and you just totally made me lose it. I'm going to have to erase a little bit. So, within this issue, it does, like, do a really great job of setting the tones, and you kind of get that feel through the different art styles, but as well as, like, in this issue, Mr. Terrific is trying to figure out the mystery of Adam Strange and what happened to this fan, if he actually killed him, and it seems like there's more going on.
Right, like whether or not the whole thing is worth being investigated.
Yeah. And, I don't know, he finds out some information. One of my favorite parts of this particular issue is, I don't know if his balls have a certain name or not.
It's the Terrific Ball.
But his Terrific Ball, who keeps asking him, like, different questions, which seemingly, like, are helping him investigate the whole Adam Strange thing, even if, like, the questions don't seem significant to that mystery. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, no, I think that was the thing that I liked the most, was, like, the questions seemed very innocuous, I guess.
Yeah, and up until, like, the very, very, like, kind of end of it. Also, I do have to say, this particular issue, I did love the fact that Batman is in a fight with Professor Pig, because this is out of the Batman issue that they did with the dreams.
Right, okay.
So,
yes.
Some other nerd shit for you.
Yes. Yeah, no, I really like that. There's one specific part that I like, which I just have to mention. The T-ball questions him about King Arthur and the Green Knight and stuff, and I really love that story. And so the fact that it was, like, referenced in here and could have, like, not something to do with, like, the mystery of the murder itself, but just, like, hinting towards there's more to it than that.
Yeah.
I really like that.
And I think it's kind of talking about who Adam Strange is as a person.
Right.
So that's what,
right. Yeah. So I again, like, the questions that these things are asking him and, like, what they have to do with, like, the current situation and what he's going to be investigating and all that kind of stuff is very minorly significant, which you don't realize, or at least I didn't until I, like, got to the end, and
same.
then I was just like, oh my god, that's right, that's what's going on. So I really like the way that this was set up. I love the past and the present. I love the whole you're getting half of the story with, like, Adam Strange and his wife, like, going out and going on their own little quest, and versus, like, Mr. Terrific trying to figure out, like, what is going on with this and, like, why this is important and why Batman wants him to investigate it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, and I think especially coming out of, like, Heroes in Crisis, this is a much stronger book, and, like, once again, much stronger than the first issue. I think if you were iffy about the first issue for very specific reasons, I think it is still worth, like, checking out this second issue, if nothing else.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it's back to Tom King.
Yeah.
Like, this is, to me, what he was supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it feels like that Mr. Miracle, like, those issues in this issue. All right. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we got.
So, happy Wednesday. Remember to, call, email, text any of your representatives about any of the horrible things that are happening in your city, other cities. Justice for all of the many black people that have been killed in the last forever and also, like, 2 weeks.
Yeah, and don't believe anything that the cops tell you.
So,
Do your own investigating.
Do your own investigating. Look into different forms of police. And
defund the police. Help your black friends.
Yeah. We love you. Thank you for listening.